Hey everybody, today is September 2nd, 2018, and I figured I'd take an opportunity during this sunset, sorry it's so late, to do an overview of the two WeatherCase cameras. Going to do an update on the two. These are the two cameras that I commonly use for filming storm videos out in the yard for Cube Comp MTDX. In addition, I will sometimes use a Kodak ZI-10 Play Touch for filming the videos on the porch. This camera here just ran out of memory. Oh well. So this is WeatherCase number 1, if you guys are new to it. Back in late July, I replaced the camera that was in it, the Kodak ZI-6, replaced it with a ZI-8, got it off of eBay for about $20. That camera had an issue with parasitic drain. So the parasitic drain, which I did a video about this on Cube Computer Channel, essentially the camera would always pull about 50 milliamps of current. The camera pulled about 50 milliamps of current off the battery at all times, whether the camera was running or not. And it was actually due to a hardware issue with the camera. Not software, but actually something was shorting out across the resistor or something of that nature, pulling a fixed amount of current, draining the battery down to nothing. So about a week or two later on eBay came another listing for a parts ZI-8. I should mention the first one was just noted as functional, might need a battery. Well, turns out it was more than that. The second one I paid, crap, I don't know, like $8. It wasn't a whole bunch. It got here and I used that camera. So the second camera just had a bad LCD display. Everything else worked fine with it. So I used that camera and the first camera to make a good working ZI-8. And it works perfectly fine now. I did have some issues with audio during the first few weeks of running this camera. This camera has a very similar microphone driver to that of the ZI-6 for the external microphone jack. And what would happen is, in some cases, the audio would have a high-pitched squeal, and it's the exact same pestering issue I had with the ZI-6. The ZI-6 and ZI-8 have actually, I liked the audio from these cameras. However, it's picky with microphones. But I was able to get that resolved, and I was able to actually get it resolved good with a fake Sony ECM DS70P stereo mic, which picks up thunder extremely well and picks up sounds like the cicadas and everything really well. So that camera's working great. It has a fisheye lens on the front for wide viewing angle, and I'm very well pleased with this camera. It runs extreme. It can do 10 hours of recording on 720p 30 fps. Now, is that amazing or what? Thanks to the 18650 mod, this thing can run for hours and hours and hours. Now, let's talk about WeatherCase camera number 2. This was a kind of quick throw together project. It just turned off again. Memory card ran out. This was a quick throw together project that I did back in, I think, May of this year. This camera is an Ativa, I think it's a D33F. It's manufactured by Toshiba and was sold under the Office Depot Ativa brand. We got this camera back in 2011, or it was either late 2010 or 2011, sometime around then, and the camera recorded great video, but the audio was just absolutely craptastic. I thought maybe it was just a crappy mic. So I pulled this camera out of my mom's drawer, her desk drawer, been there for years. Went ahead and 18650 modded it and retrofitted a different microphone onto the camera, which is wired into this WeatherCase. I built this new WeatherCase for this camera, and essentially it's about the same thing. Video is great, but audio is just craptastic. Don't sound that great at all. Although I have been using this camera quite a bit to supplement this one, the audio issue is something I can't stand. In some of my recent videos, I've considered just somehow interlacing in the audio from this camera's video with this camera's video. But, I mean, that's not the only thing I'm having issues with. This camera, the thing about it is, I question its ability to last another year. It already seems kind of flaky as it is. So it's like, okay, how much longer is this thing gonna last? So, what I'm doing with this one is I'm looking on eBay. I'm thinking about picking up a DXG 5C0V Lux camera or 5C8V Lux camera to replace this Ativa camera. The reason why I chose the DXG 5C0V Lux in particular is because it's a pistol style camera, a flat pistol style camera that has fixed focus and digital zoom. You don't want autofocus in these cameras because, like for example, at night the focus will go out of whack, and it's just other moving parts that may fail. Considering the rigorous environment these cameras are put in, you want as few moving parts as possible. So, yeah, with this camera, another issue I've had with it, I mentioned the video is great, and I mentioned, that I question this thing's ability to last another year. Well, another issue I have with this camera is when the sun goes down, it doesn't pick up much of anything at all. However, there's a little button you can press to engage what's called night mode, but it's not like the slow shutter that you have with the ZI6. It just manages to expose the video a little bit better to where it picks up things like lightning and stuff a bit better. However, it requires a manual button press. And unlike the night mode that I mentioned, and like the ZI6 slow shutter, during the day it does not engage, but once it gets dark out it engages by itself automatically. No manual button press is required. This thing you have to run out in the middle of a thunderstorm in some cases to run out and mash a button. It's one button press, and I find that very annoying. Or on the flip side, let's say if I want to film a time-lapse a sunrise, it's a total opposite. I have to set it to night mode, to nighttime filming mode. But when the sun rises, if I forget to go outside and press the button, the video looks extremely bright. So, yeah. Gonna be replacing this camera eventually. Not sure when. Again, I'm just looking on eBay for a decent deal on a DXG 5C0V. So, now that I've gotten the WeatherCase camera number 1 working good, it's time to focus on WeatherCase camera number 2. But anyways, although it's getting dark out now, it's a good little shot of these two filming together. And you can see my camera is losing focus. That's what it does. That's what autofocus cameras tend to do in low light. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this little update. Thanks for watching.